You meet someone. You feel a rush. You say, I can't live without them. You call it love at first sight. You call it destiny. But let's be honest. If you are drowning in the middle of the ocean and you find a piece of drifting wood, you will hug it with all your strength. You will love that wood. You will name that wood. You will marry that wood. Not because the wood is special, but because you are drowning. Most of your relationships aren't about the other person. They are about your inability to swim alone. Today, we are going to learn how to swim. When you are lonely, your brain perceives it as a physical threat. Evolutionarily, being alone meant death. So when you find a partner, your brain floods you with dopamine and oxytocin. It feels like magic, but it's actually a painkiller. You aren't in love with him or her. You are in love with the relief of no longer being alone. You are mistaking the absence of pain for the presence of love. You are essentially a junkie thanking the dealer. Imagine your soul is a house. If it is empty, cold, and dark, it's scary to be inside. So you invite the first person who knocks on the door just to fill the space. It doesn't matter if they are messy, rude, or toxic. At least they make noise. At least the house isn't quiet. This is why you stay in bad relationships. You aren't tolerating their behavior because you love them. You are tolerating them because the alternative, the empty house, terrifies you more. Are you the type of person who is never single? You swing from one relationship to the next, like Tarzan swinging on vines. You don't let go of the old vine until you have a firm grip on the new one. This isn't being romantic. This is a lack of survival skills. You are using people as stepping stones to avoid touching the ground. Because deep down, you suspect that if you touch the ground of your own reality, you would collapse. If someone loves me, I must be worthy. This is the subconscious equation many people live by. You use a relationship as a mirror to prove you exist. If the mirror breaks, if they leave, you feel like you disappear. This puts immense pressure on your partner. It is not their job to validate your existence. It is not their job to be your antidepressant. That is a burden no human being can carry for long. When you shop for food while you are starving, you buy junk. When you date while you are lonely, you settle for less. You ignore the red flags. You make excuses. He hits me, but he had a bad childhood. She cheats, but she is lonely. You lower your standards to the floor because your hunger is louder than your logic. You aren't choosing a partner, you are grabbing the nearest available snack. Lonely people don't fall in love with reality. They fall in love with potential. You don't love who they are. You love who they could be if you fixed them. You treat your partner like a DIY project. Why? Because focusing on their problems distracts you from your own. Trying to save someone is the ultimate distraction from saving yourself. It's not love, it's a savior complex disguised as romance. Why is it so hard to just sit in a room alone? Blaise Pascal said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. In silence, your inner demons start talking. Your insecurities, your regrets, your fears. A relationship is often just background noise to drown out those voices. You text good morning and good night, not to connect, but to ensure the noise never stops. There is a massive difference between being alone and being lonely. Loneliness is a poverty of self. You feel incomplete. You are begging for company. Solitude is a richness of self. You enjoy your own company. You are whole. Until you can transform loneliness into solitude, you are dangerous to others, because you will consume them to fill your void. Healthy love happens between two people who are comfortable in solitude. Biologically, if one organism cannot survive without the other, it is not a partnership, it is parasitism. I can't live without you sounds romantic in a song. In real life, it is a diagnosis. If you can't live without them, you are a hostage, not a partner. Dependency breeds resentment. Eventually, you will hate the person you need, because you hate needing them. But we have been together for 5 years. So what? This is the sunk cost fallacy. You keep investing in a losing stock just because you have already spent money on it. You are afraid that if you leave, those 5 years will be wasted. But if you stay for 5 more years in an unhappy relationship, you haven't saved the first 5. You just wasted 10. Fear of starting over keeps you locked in a prison of your own making. Leaving a dependency relationship feels like drug withdrawal. You will feel physical pain. You will panic. You will bargain. Maybe I can change him. Maybe it wasn't that bad. This is your brain screaming for its dopamine fix. Recognize it for what it is. Detox. It hurts because it is healing. If you run back to the relationship to stop the pain, you reset the clock to 0. So, you finally left the toxic relationship. You are in withdrawal. You are hurting. What is the first thing you do? You download Tinder. You go to a bar. You text your ex from 5 years ago. You are looking for a rebound. You tell yourself you are getting back out there. You tell yourself you are moving on. Lies. You are grabbing another human being and using them as a shield against your own loneliness. There is a brutal quote: "If you don't heal what hurt you, you will bleed on people who didn't cut you." By rushing into a new connection before you have processed the old one, you aren't finding love, you are finding anesthesia. You are using a person as a drug to numb the silence. And the moment that anesthesia wears off, you will realize you are in the exact same cycle, just with a different face. Stop using people to hide from yourself. Here's a radical idea. Before you date anyone else, date yourself. Take yourself to dinner. Go to the movies alone. Travel alone. Treat yourself with the kindness you offer to strangers. Learn what you like when nobody else is watching. If you don't enjoy your own company, why should anyone else? Become the person you are looking for. Real love is not "you complete me." Real love is "I am complete, and you add to my completeness." It is two whole circles overlapping, not two halves trying to make a whole. It is freedom, not possession. It is wanting them, but not needing them. When you are no longer scared of being alone, you stop choosing partners out of desperation, and you start choosing them out of inspiration. You have watched the video. Now comes the hard part. I am challenging you to a solo date. Within the next 48 hours, go to a restaurant. A nice one, not a fast food chain. Sit at a table, alone. No phone, no book, no distractions. Order a meal and eat it slowly. Look around. Observe the people. Observe your own thoughts. Feel the awkwardness. Feel the urge to check Instagram to look busy. Fight it. Sit with yourself. If you can survive one meal alone with your own thoughts, you are one step closer to never needing a fake relationship again. Can you do it? Today, we dove deep into your heart. But in the next video, we are going to a much dirtier place, your conscience. I have a simple question for you. If I offered you $10 million to let a stranger die, would you push the button? Don't say no immediately. Don't rush. Because statistically, you are lying. Most of you are already selling pieces of your soul every morning for a fraction of that money. In the next video, I will prove that you aren't necessarily moral. You just haven't received a high enough offer yet. If you have the courage to find out your own price tag, turn on notifications. Because in that video, you will see that everything you said you would never do actually has a tariff. See you.